to the course on Dynamics of Machinery, unit number 5, measurement and control of vibration. So the content of these units are like this. First part there is on measurement, means we are going to study the basic vibration measuring instruments and their different sensors which are used for measurement of vibrations. In addition to this, there are certain methods of doing this vibration analysis and different standards related to the measurement of vibration and human response to the vibrations. So in the second part there is a vibration control. That means once we come to know that there are some heavy vibrations in the machines, that means now our aim is to reduce those vibrations. That is nothing but coming under the part of control of the vibrations. So we are trying to reduce the vibrations by different ways. So that we are going to study in the second part of it. Okay, so now initially we will see the what is vibration measurement. So we will just introduce with the vibration first. So what is vibration? That we have already seen that vibration is nothing but a physical movement or oscillation of a mechanical part about a reference position. That means if I consider simply a pendulum, so it will be having an oscillatory motion about its point of suspension. So this motion, to and fro motion of this particular will be called as a vibration. So now why we have to care about this vibration? Because vibration is a wasted energy. So definitely when there is a displacement like this of any particular component, now even if I consider a simply supported beam and it is vibrating like this, okay, upward, up and down. So this up and down motion of this, so there is a certain force involved in this particular motion and a displacement. So force and the displacement is nothing but, if I have to calculate, it is an energy. That is, if the force is in Newton and the displacement is in meters, Newton meter is nothing but the loss of energy, or it is nothing but a particular kind of work. And if I am going to consider this work per unit time, so it is Newton meter per second. So that is work, energy, or the power loss is there. So this is a wasted energy, and therefore I expect that there should be a minimum waste of energy from my machine. Okay. At the same time, it is a major cause of premature component failure, because if I consider such a simply supported beam and definitely if it is vibrating like this continuously, so whatever the bending moment over here, it will be continuously changing its sign, means bending moment will be positive and negative continuously at this particular end, and which causes a fatigue to this particular component. And definitely due to fatigue, due to repetitive stresses, sometimes it is tension, sometimes compression, so like that, because of these repetitive stresses, this particular component is going to fail. So this vibration is a major cause of premature component failure also, and therefore we have to understand this vibration and we have to try to reduce these vibrations. At the same time, it is a cause of vehicle noise. That means if a particular component is vibrating, so definitely it is going to touch with some surrounding components, and definitely it is going to cause the noise. So definitely we are not expecting the more noise in the systems also. Maybe it is a machine or it is a vehicle, and that is why we have to care about this vibration. Okay. So now we'll just see that why we need to measure these vibrations in detail now. So basically you have to find out the shift in omega n, which indicates the possible failure, because most of the times we have seen the frequency response curve, and in that we have observed that the frequency response curve is somewhat like this, and that a value of a frequency ratio equal to, means we are indicating frequency ratio as R. So if it's R is equal to 1, means when excitation frequency and natural frequency, when it will match, there is a resonance that will occur here. Okay, so we have to shift the omega n, which will indicate the possible failure, because if our frequency and means natural frequency and the excitation frequency, if it is equal, definitely a resonance will occur, and that condition we have to avoid. And for that we should know what is our natural frequency. So if we measure the natural frequency of our system, we can change this natural frequency to avoid the failure of it. At the same time, to select the operational speeds to avoid the resonance. So for example, if our gearbox is having a particular speed of 200 rpm, and at that speed, if the resonance frequency of the system is also same, so we can avoid that power transmission or motion transmission at that particular speed. So we can avoid that resonance. At the same time, it is measured values may be different from the theoretical values. So because generally whatever the system we design and we calculate theoretical values of the frequency, but definitely we may not be aware exactly whether it is same or not, because always there is some difference between the theoretical calculation and the practical systems. So practically we should find out the frequency of the system, and for that you have to make the measurement of vibrations. Also, to design active vibration isolation system, that means once we come to know that there is some amount of vibration present in the system, so we have to control those vibrations, so we can provide certain isolation systems. So for that we have to make the measurement of vibration, so that we can provide the isolation, and amount of isolation will be decided depending upon the value of the actually the vibration that you are supposed to absorb. Also, to identify the mass, stiffness and damping of a system, sometimes we have to make the measurement of vibrations, and to verify the approximated model, because we are going to approximate our model and that has to be verified. So for that also we have to make the measurement of vibrations. So with this now we'll talk about in detail about the vibrations. So vibrations can create undesirable behavior in machinery and structures. So definitely whatever the behavior will be observed in the machines and the structures due to vibrations, it is not desirable. So the vibration and acoustic testing finds applications ranging from machinery diagnostics to monitoring of structural integrity in space shuttles also. So there is a wide application of this, and a machine or a structure or vehicle, so it may be uncomfortable to ride, okay, and it will be difficult to control sometimes. Also it may make too much of noise, or sometimes it is not possible to maintain the tolerances, and therefore the component starts wearing fast and causing the fatigue failure, which is called as premature failure. And sometimes it may cause the complete breakdown, which is unexpectedly occurring in the machines. So all these possibilities necessitate the measurement of vibration. So we have to avoid all these things to happen in the system, and therefore we have to make the continuous monitoring of the vibration so that we can take the corrective action over it. So now there are so many sophisticated vibration measuring instruments are available at highly affordable prices, and they give a very good performance as well. But these instruments also need to be handled by an engineer who has the true understanding of the principle of operation of those instruments, okay, because it's not that easy that anybody can operate it. So there are so many transducers which are available, and there are limitations of those transducers, because if you go for in the market and see or ask for a particular transducer, so they will ask you that for which kind of applications and for which kind of range of measurement you need it. So accordingly the person should have the knowledge of it, that for which range of vibrations actually you are going to make the measurement. So according to that you have to see the transducer for it. Also the appropriate signal conditioning amplifiers are also available, because once we collect this vibration, so that vibration actually is a signal, because it is varying with the time. So there are so many signal conditioning devices or amplifiers are available for making a measurement, and there are also data acquisition systems available. So data acquisition system means it is going to collect the data and store the data in the required form, okay, and sometimes there are so many recording techniques are being available for storing this particular data collected. So this data, whatever we collect, it should be processed properly, okay, because we have to get a proper information from this data, so it needs to be properly processed for retrieving the required information. And the engineer should know how to adapt a field test to laboratory conditions, okay, and what boundary conditions to use, and where to locate the transducers and how to orient them. So all this information vibration measurement engineer or the person should know, okay, so that he can make proper analysis of the particular vibrations. So he or she should also be in a position to judge whether a given set of specifications for a vibration test is reasonable or not. So suppose there are some conditions or some specifications of some instruments are available with you, and you have to do certain test on a machine. So whether your instruments are capable of making the measurement properly of that machine, so that must be known to us. and the engineer often also has to sit in a judgment over a report generated by someone else. So if every time it is not necessary that the engineer should go to the machine and make the measurement of all the machines. Even sometimes you are going to keep the instrument over the machine and it will record the vibrations of that particular machine, and these vibrations will be analyzed by the engineer afterwards. So that is also possible. Okay, so typically vibration measurements are made for the following reasons. So first is the determination of the response of a vibrating machine, vehicle or structure. So you have to find out the response of vibrating machine. So for that is the first purpose. Then the determination of vibration levels in road vehicles, off-road vehicles and tracked vehicles. Also for the characterization of the suspensions, means we are designing some suspension systems for vehicles, so how it is behaving, how the suspension system is performing, that characterization of the suspension systems, for that it is required. And finding the response of a human being in a vibrating environment, such as in a vehicle, in a building, or while operating a machine. And at the same time finding out the natural frequencies and damping ratios and mode shapes associated with the modes of vibrations, and that is nothing but called as modal analysis. So finding natural frequencies, finding the damping ratios and the mode shapes, okay, is in total is called as a modal analysis, and this is most important analysis for machines and the structures from the point of view of its design and its performance. So determination of the forces causing a particular vibration is possible by doing these measurements, and the evaluation of the vibration isolation. So you can evaluate this for the case of a vibration isolation also. Now we will see that the evaluation of the damping materials is also possible by doing the vibration measurement, and the condition monitoring of machine to find out if it is operating within the safe levels. So if not, the cause of vibration leading to the response has to be determined, or mitigation measures have to be taken. So in short, condition monitoring means nothing but you are going to monitor the condition of that machines and checking whether it is running with a vibration level which is within a safe level. So if it is moving or if it is running with a higher level of vibrations, in that case we have to see that it should be either stopped or make certain means to reduce that vibrations. And sometimes we can also find out the cause of vibrations by observing the frequency spectrum plot of that particular machine. So if we observe that plot, we will come to know that what may be the reason of vibration. Sometimes the reason of vibration may be unbalance, maybe some misalignment, or maybe some looseness. So many reasons are there because of which the vibrations are occurring. So we can find out the cause of vibration also. And it is also useful for estimating the vibration levels on massive structures like machine foundations, bridges, highways and buildings. Okay. So measurement of ground motion during an earthquake and response of structures to earthquake excitation can also be obtained by doing the vibration measurement. And finally, the comparison of vibration levels in similar consumer items of different makes, that is air conditioners, refrigerators. So for all these components also we need to find out what is the vibration level that will not cause any kind of problem during its working. So we have to excite these systems, or we have to provide the vibrations to this particular refrigerator or air conditioner and then check its performance, whether it is getting affected or not. Okay, so here and in this slide shown the different types of vibrations. So now there can be any kind of vibration that will occur in your system, and then you have to make the measurement of this. So in the next presentation we are going to see how we can make the measurement of this vibration and what are the different measuring instruments available and sensors are used for these vibrations. So in general we know the categories of the vibration as there is a linear vibration and the non-linear vibrations. In each of these categories there is a single degree of freedom vibrations and multi-degree of freedom vibrations, and the third is a distributed mass or infinite degree of freedom. Okay, so here the degree of freedom can be countable. It may be single, it may be 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, and in this case it is infinite degree of freedom system. So in each of these cases there is a free vibrations when there is no excitation force from the externally, acting over the system. Then damped free vibrations, in this case also there is no external excitation, but it is damping, means resistance is there to the motion, and this is a force vibration. In that case your externally your system will be excited by some excitation force, that is force vibration. And again these force vibrations can be classified as a periodic forces, maybe there might be base excitation, means your when the vehicles are moving on the road, that kind of problems. And the random vibrations means again you cannot predict what kind of road conditions will be there on a road, so that kind of vibrations can be a random vibration. Or in case of machines also, that any kind of vibration which is going to cause over there, it will be showing you random vibrations. So here we will just stop, and we'll see in the next presentation about the vibration measuring instruments. Thank you for watching. Thank you.